You don't lose firmness because you're old. And you don't lose it because you can't anymore. You lose it because somewhere along the way, your body stopped trusting the strategy you're using. Here's the question most men over 50 never ask out loud. Why does everything feel fine at first? And then suddenly it slips away? Not desire, not attraction, just confidence quietly draining mid-moment. That moment hits harder than people admit. Because once it happens once, you start bracing for it the next time, avoiding closeness, rushing intimacy, or pretending it doesn't matter when it does. I'm Dr. Claire Monroe, a urologist with over 15 years helping men over 50 restore firmness and confidence naturally. And today, I'm going to show you why this keeps happening and how men your age stop the drop-off without pills, pressure, or pushing harder. If you've ever felt your body hesitate, right when it mattered most, stay with me, because the issue isn't failure. It's strategy. You're not imagining it, and you're definitely not alone. Most men I see don't come in saying, "I can't get firm at all." They tell me something quieter, something heavier. It starts strong, then fades, and once it fades once, my head never lets it go. That's where the real damage begins. Because the next time intimacy approaches, your body isn't relaxed anymore. It's watching itself, scanning for failure, bracing for the moment it happened last time. One man, 58, sat across from me, with his shoulders tense the entire visit. He said the worst part wasn't the loss of firmness. It was the silence afterward. No argument, no rejection, just both of them pretending it didn't sting. Another patient, 63, told me he started avoiding nights, when closeness might lead somewhere, not because he didn't want intimacy, but because he couldn't handle the split second. When his body didn't respond the way it used to, that hesitation changes how you show up. You rush. You overthink. You pull away emotionally before anything physical even starts. And over time, confidence erodes quietly. You start believing your body is unreliable, unpredictable, something you have to manage instead of trust. What makes this worse is that many men blame age alone. They assume decline is automatic, inevitable, so they don't talk about it. They don't ask questions. They don't change anything. They just adapt by shrinking their expectations. But here's the part no one explains clearly. Losing firmness midway is not the same as losing desire. It's not a character flaw. It's not weakness. It's your system reacting to strain, pressure, and signals that no longer line up smoothly. Yet, because it happens during such a personal moment, men internalize it deeply. I've had patients tell me they still feel close to their partner, but feel disconnected from their own body. That gap is painful, and it grows every time the experience repeats. If any part of this feels uncomfortably familiar, type 1 in the comments. In the next part, I'll explain what's actually happening inside the body when firmness drops midway, and why pushing harder often makes it worse instead of better. When firmness fades midway, most men think it's random, or mental, or just one of those nights. But inside the body, something very specific is happening. Think of firmness like water pressure, not desire, not excitement. Pressure. Blood has to flow in smoothly, stay contained, and not leak out under strain. Now imagine a hose. If the hose is bent, or squeezed, or the valve keeps opening and closing, pressure drops. Not instantly, gradually. That's exactly what happens here. After 50, 3 forces quietly collide: muscle strain, gravity, and stress. Let's start with muscle strain. During intimacy, your body uses more muscles than you realize. Hips, core, thighs, lower back. When those muscles tense too hard, they pull blood away from where it's needed most. Your body chooses survival over performance. Next is gravity. When you're holding weight, standing, or pushing against your own body mass, your heart has to work harder. To keep circulation steady, blood follows the path of least resistance. If gravity wins, pressure drops. Then comes stress. Not loud stress, quiet stress. The kind that lives in the nervous system. The moment your brain checks in with, Is it still there? Your body shifts gears from calm connection to alert monitoring. That switch alone can tighten vessels just enough to reduce firmness, not shut it down, just weaken it. That's why pushing harder rarely works. More effort increases strain. More strain worsens circulation. It becomes a loop. What most men don't realize is that firmness doesn't disappear. It leaks, slowly, predictably. And once you understand this, everything changes, because the solution isn't forcing blood in, it's reducing the conditions that let it slip away. There's one adjustment that removes the most strain with the least effort. It doesn't require strength, or pills, or willpower. It simply changes how your body handles pressure in the moment. In the next section, I'll show you that first strategy. It's the easiest place to start. And for many men, the moment firmness stops feeling fragile, just one shift, that gives your body permission to stay steady again. The first thing I want you to hear is this. You don't need to fix everything at once. Firmness doesn't come back because you try harder. It returns when you remove strain in the right order. That's the strategy most men miss. So we start with the safest shift, the one your body accepts fastest. It's not about strength. It's about positioning your system so blood can stay where it needs to be. When men change this one thing, many notice a difference. The very same night, it's how much load your body is carrying during intimacy, not emotional load, physical load. When you support weight with your arms, your shoulders, your core, blood gets redirected. Your body prioritizes muscles that are working hardest. That's biology, not failure. One man, 61, told me he always felt firmness fade after a few minutes. Same pattern. Every time. He thought it was endurance. It wasn't. He was holding his upper body tense, bracing, pushing. Once he removed that strain, everything stabilized. So the adjustment is simple. Choose positions where your body can relax, where your heart isn't fighting gravity, where your muscles aren't competing for circulation. Lying back, side by side, letting your partner's body weight carry the moment. The relief is immediate, not dramatic, but noticeable. Next comes the nervous system. This part is subtle, but powerful. The moment you start checking whether firmness is still there, your system shifts from connection to control. Control tightens blood vessels, even slightly. That's enough to cause leakage. So the strategy here is not distraction, it's redirection. Focus outward, breathing slowly, touching, staying engaged with sensation, not outcome, not performance. One patient, 55, said this change alone cut his anxiety in half because once he stopped monitoring, his body stopped reacting. Now we address muscle support. There's a group of muscles most men never think about. They sit deep, quiet, but crucial. When they're weak or tense, blood escapes more easily. Strengthening them doesn't require intensity, just consistency, a gentle contraction, a controlled release, done daily, not forcefully. One man practiced this while sitting at his desk. No one knew. No one could tell. After 3 weeks, he said firmness felt anchored, not rigid, stable. That stability builds confidence. Then there's alcohol. This one surprises men because a drink feels relaxing, but relaxation in the brain can mean suppression in the system. Alcohol dulls signals. It lowers pressure, right when pressure matters. When men remove alcohol from intimacy nights, they often see improvement within days, not weeks, days. One patient laughed when he told me. He said, "I thought it helped me loosen up. It was loosening the wrong thing." Next is mental pacing. Many men rush. Without realizing it, they push the moment forward instead of letting it unfold. Rushing increases strain. Slowing down allows circulation to catch up. Pausing isn't failure. It's regulation. If firmness dips, the rule is simple. Do not panic. Do not push. Shift position. Breathe. Stay connected. Firmness often returns on its own. That's your body recalibrating. Now let's talk about health signals. Conditions like high blood pressure or elevated blood sugar don't announce themselves loudly. They whisper through circulation. When those signals are unmanaged, firmness becomes unpredictable. Men who address these quietly with their doctor often see steady improvement over time, not overnight, but lasting. And finally, movement. Not extreme exercise, just daily motion, walking, gentle activity. This improves circulation system-wide. One man, 67, started walking after dinner, nothing intense. 3 months later, he said intimacy felt effortless again, not forced, not tense, natural. Here's what matters most. You don't need all of this tonight. Choose one adjustment. Just one. The one that feels easiest. To start, when men stack changes too fast, they overwhelm their system. When they start small, confidence builds. And confidence changes everything. Choose one habit or position. You'll start tonight. Type the number in your mind. You don't need to announce it. Just commit. Because once firmness stops feeling fragile, intimacy stops feeling like a test, and your body remembers how to trust itself again. Here's the shift most men never make. They assume something is broken, that their body is failing them. But what I see, again and again, is a body following the wrong instructions. Not damaged, just misdirected. When you stop forcing outcomes and start supporting the system, confidence begins to return before firmness fully does. That's important, because confidence isn't the reward. It's the stabilizer. Men who regain trust in their body stop bracing for disappointment. They stop scanning for problems. They stop rushing moments that need calm, and the nervous system responds. I've watched men rebuild intimacy without changing desire at all, just changing how safe their body feels in the moment. Consistency matters more than intensity. Small adjustments repeated teach your system what to expect. Predictability restores trust, and trust allows circulation to stay steady under pressure. This isn't about proving anything. It's about letting your body do what it already knows how to do. When it's not being pushed, judged, or rushed, you're not behind. You're recalibrating. And once that process starts, progress feels quieter, but far more reliable. If this conversation helped you breathe a little easier, stay close. Not because you need motivation, but because understanding compounds. Each week, I break down what men over 50 are quietly dealing with and how to support your body without pressure or extremes. Share this with someone who never talks about it, but feels it. That kind of silence is heavier than it looks. And when you're ready, there's another conversation waiting, one that explains what to do when firmness dips unexpectedly, and how to switch calmly without losing connection or confidence. You don't need more effort. You need better signals. Stay with me. There's one thing I want to leave you with. The body doesn't lose capability overnight. It loses alignment, and alignment can be restored, not by fighting, not by forcing moments to behave, but by listening to the signals you were never taught to notice. When firmness fades, it's not a verdict, it's feedback. And once you learn how to read it, you stop fearing it. In the next conversation, we'll talk about what to do in the exact moment confidence wavers, so intimacy stays calm, connected, and unbroken. Until then, remember this. You are not failing. Your strategy was simply outdated.